Race Talk Live, thanks to Justin Hopp. What are you waving at?
Yeah, what are you doing? There's a fly on the camera. Can't you get a windshield wiper or something for that?
You don't have one of your tear-offs going on that?
Be sure to stick around. We're going to open up the cake here in a little bit.
Okay.
That look good?
Okay.
I want to get a piece
good
of that.
for
You got to do it in front of the camera, right?
Right here, yeah. In fact, grab it, Dave, so they can see it. See? Show it to them.
There it is.
Sweet.
Look at that.
Yeah,
That'll be
Looks
good.
pretty good.
What are you going to cut it with?
You know, we're at a bar and grill. I'm sure there's a knife inside there somewhere. I'll find something, trust me. It wouldn't be the first one I've cut up. I ain't going to guarantee what it looks like.
I think I'll just dive in and break all the pieces.
Probably. You could do that. It's a cookie thing. So. Let's continue with Dave for a few minutes here. And, you know, so we covered the fact that you started, you know, in 2008. You hadn't been to a racetrack yet. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite track or anything now?
Wow, you know, I was thinking about that on the drive down here.
Did you think I was going to ask you that?
Yeah, I thought maybe you would ask me. You know, it's really hard to tell.
Your home track, let's say it this way. Your home track's Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot of things I like about Minneapolis.
Yeah. I mean,
but every track is different.
It's a new facility. It's lit well. I mean, you know,
well, and
that helps you shoot better.
Yeah, and the Robins really work with me, you know, and they recognize the value of it. So, you know, I got a lift that I can use, and then there's that T-Rex that goes over the entranceway that I can
That's
get
pretty
up
cool.
on. Yeah.
I've watched races from that from time to time.
And, you know, Terry trusts me out there. He lets me get as close as I want to, pretty much.
As close as you dare.
Right. Ever been too close?
Yeah, I think
Where?
so. I think it turned 4.
Where at? Which race?
In Minneapolis. Well,
there was a time when you were on the...
There's a couple times,
Yeah.
you know, where you're right there at turn 4, and they get a little squirrely getting up high, you know, and you step back a few steps. And so.
I'll never forget the night that contraption he was in. No, I'm going to save that story for a little bit, but the contraption you were in at Belleville was pretty trick, where you hauled that the man lift up there.
I really appreciate you guys following me. On the way back home.
You scared me. Okay? It takes a lot to scare me.
I didn't want to hit that animal. It was
a coon.
You know.
You run those over, okay?
Nah, you just couldn't do it. I thought it was fine. I thought it felt pretty smooth to me. So.
I got one for you, too. We went to Kansas Speedway this weekend, and Ryan and I left at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Do you know how dark it is at 5 in the morning?
Oh, yeah. It's pretty dark.
Well, we had the wife's car, Michelle's car.
Yeah.
And I did not run it over. I drove over a skunk.
Nice.
Oof. Oh, yeah. My garage still smells like a skunk. It was spraying when we went over it.
Was it really?
We didn't hit it.
Man.
We didn't hit it. We didn't kill it. But it was spraying. And you still go out the garage and go, boy.
Could you smell it all the way to Kansas City?
Oh, yeah. We got out. We stopped.
Off.
We stopped. We made it mad. That's for sure. I run it over. What do you think? Went right underneath that car. It's a good thing that thing sits up high. I never heard it go thunk or nothing, but we could sure smell it. We pull into the parking lot, and one of my friends gets out and goes, "Do you have to bring the skunk smell with you?" And I was like, "Oh, brother."
Probably scared it more than.
Yeah, we did. It had its tail up when I went over it, and I swerved so I wouldn't hit it. And, oh, man, we smelled it right away. But anyhow, yeah, you about...
So, as far as my favorite track, I'd have to say Minneapolis, really, you know, just because of the facilities and, like the lighting.
And I'm not trying to put you on the
you
spot. You shoot for a lot of racetracks.
I do,
but,
actually.
You know, and there's always going to be something a little bit different about the other one that you shot at.
They work with me at Hayes, too.
Sure.
Well, Wade Porter works with me there, and, you know, they take care of me when I come down there, too. And
you got a pretty decent perch at Salina Speedway.
I do. I'm trying to talk him into maybe getting a lift somewhere around there, too. I've mentioned it a few times, but the only thing is that Salina Speedway is the front stretch.
Yeah.
You know, but, I mean, because you can't really see something in turn 4 too much. I thought about the water towers, but I don't know if they'll let me get up there.
You want to get on top of those things?
Yeah.
Woo.
Apparently he's not afraid of heights.
Evidently.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
To put a guardrail up there.
He should be afraid of vans riding with you, though. I'm bringing it up now. That was the first time I met David.
We were at, and that's actually the first time we worked together.
That's what it was. That
could have ended. That could have ended the working relationship
He's
right
probably
there.
wondering, who the hell are these guys?
We stuffed. Oh, I'm sure the boss is listening somewhere. We didn't think about it, but we stuffed Dave in the back of the KY van and hung the doors open. Well, we didn't have anything to hold the doors open. You know, we just let him.
It was his idea.
Yeah, and he was in the back.
I can just hold these open.
Yeah, and he was in the back shooting the parade lap of the late models. It was really cool. He's got some good video.
It was a good shot. Yeah.
But the problem was the driver of the van coming off the track.
Yeah.
There was a big tractor tire up there.
Uh-huh.
And I just heard the thunk.
Uh-huh. And then, ooh.
Well, you didn't hear the rest of it then, huh? I think I turned the camera off before I started getting, really bad.
And Dave's back in the back of the van, flopping around.
What happened?
Oh, God.
Well, see, I let go of it, though. I didn't think it was going to matter. I didn't think it was going to fly out.
So you let go of the door?
Yeah. I had the door I had, like, my feet hooked up underneath the doors, right?
So what you got to picture is this door's probably 3 foot wide.
It's a cargo door.
It's a cargo door, so it's 2.5 feet wide.
Yeah.
Well, what happened was he let go of it. Okay, so we'll use that excuse.
Yeah.
He lets go of the door. It swings to the outside and hits that tractor tire. Well, we're probably going about 20.
Well, that's because
faster than that, I think. Well, you were going off the track because the late models were just.
Yeah, you were going faster than 20.
What, 30?
I don't know.
40 or 50. Okay, I was going pretty good. Well, that door hit the tractor tire, and his legs are still outside of where that door needs to go to close.
Well, I probably should have just pulled my legs in. Didn't think about it. I'm still trying to get the shot, I think.
Dave's flopping around the back of the van. I couldn't figure out what the heck's going on. And then you told me I hit the tire with the door, and it tried to slam the door right on his legs.
He gets out, rubbed it a little bit. He was ready to go again.
Yep.
I thought it broke your leg.
A good shot. It hit it pretty good, yeah.
Swell up, turned black and blue, purple, pink, and all that stuff.
It didn't.
No, not really too bad.
Good.
No. I think it was like a deep internal bruise,
And you know what? But it didn't deter you from hanging out with me.
Nope.
Because you still call me and say, "Let's go shoot this."
You do a second chance,
Thanks.
I'm a little mad you're not going to be at Fall Nationals though this year.
I got no choice.
Because it's fun. Oh, I know. It's going to be cool. That's really cool for your daughter to be doing that.
Dude, I have no choice.
Right.
I mean, I promised her, A, I'd go to her soccer game with her, and B, I got to go to the college visit. I can't skip that. And that's out in Alamosa, Colorado. Do you know where that is?
It's a drive, I'm sure.
9 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
now.
there'll be Fall Nationals next year, so.
Well, and check this out real quick, since you brought the subject up, the soccer team she plays for also has a tournament in Kansas City. Well, the first game Saturday is 8 o'clock in the morning. There's no way we're going to make that. But the second game is 9 o'clock, and she's trying to figure out a way where we can make it from Alamosa to Kansas City.
It's all going to be worth it, though.
Huh?
It's all going to be worth it, though, because when she makes the USA soccer team, you remember me.
You want me to?
I'll start watching soccer then. When she gets on the USA team,
we're going to get off topic here for a second.
Well,
I took her to the women's national soccer team in Kansas City at Livestrong Park right outside of the Speedway.
Yeah.
To be real honest with you, that's a blast.
I bet.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
My dad's from South America, so I've watched a lot of soccer and been to a lot of soccer games.
So. I'm proud of both my kids, don't get me wrong, but she's a really good soccer player. To try out for this team at Adams State is kind of awesome.
That's cool.
Anyhow, so she's trying to figure out the math to where I can drive from Alamosa, Colorado, to Kansas City and get her to play Saturday night at 9.
Would you let her drive?
I'm going to make her drive.
You're going to make her drive?
If she's going to look at going to school there, she's driving.
There you go. That's good. So you're going to be resting up for the trip back, then, is what you're doing. Right on.
But did you hear me? It's 9 hours there,
right?
And then 3 hours to Kansas City. How am I going to pull that off?
I don't know. It's going to be a miracle.
Anyhow, let's get back on topic.
You're going to be busy.
Yeah, race talk. So there's no way. I can't make it. And I don't know when she plays Sunday, so I'm going to be busy Sunday.
Yeah, but the interviews you did were really cool. So, I mean, we did a couple at Boone, and we did the Fall Nationals last year, so that was...
How'd the World Outlaw stuff go?
It was good.
We did those interviews with the
those
guys.
Came out pretty good.
Good.
I need to get them posted.
Good.
This winter time is when I'm going to be posting interviews and putting up some races and stuff just on YouTube, just kind of keeping the thing going. So
you bet.
I think during this season we were pretty busy, a lot busier than I thought, and I didn't really gauge the time as far as getting this stuff out. But
talking about doing all this, you're going to be messing with all your summer stuff. What is your plans through the winter as far as the video, and do you do any stuff in the winter other than race cars?
I can
do any video and other than
like weddings and stuff like that?
Do you do all that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
And I live in Delphus, so there's really not a whole lot, to videotape. So.
Okay.
He's gonna come to Salina Stadium and shoot one of my daughter's films.
Yeah, I'll do that in the spring.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, and then also I'll probably be helping a college buddy of mine with war documentary. So Outside the Wire.
Outside the Wire. Yeah, that's a good cause. I've listened to some of the comments he makes.
Yeah, he just got back from Afghanistan.
Did he?
Yeah, he was there for 5 months, I think. And he's going to be producing some stuff. And he's actually starting to do, it's crazy because when we started this, it was just me and him pretty much. And he had a job and he quit his job and just went all in, and he just went over there in 2005 with his old Marine Corps unit. And he was always in TV before that. So, so anyway, he's starting to do lectures and stuff now. So he's starting to travel around and give lectures and that stuff. But that was kind of where I got into producing more video and stuff like that. And then
got to be tons of time to do it and edit it like you do.
It does take some time, right? And you mentioned before I had some good equipment. I do, but there's always improvements that can be made. I'd love to be able to sync up the audio just real time with the action that's going on, because right now I record the audio by itself and the video by itself, and then I got to manually sync it up, which it still takes time, so if I could just import it in and spit it out, that'd be better. But
what's David do for a job?
I work at GL Hewitt in Minneapolis. I'm their, what was my title now? I've been there 9 years now.
Really?
Yeah. E-commerce developer is my title, so.
Isn't that where Josh Rice works?
Yep, Josh Rice works in the shop in there, and you see him occasionally. There's 2 buildings, so I'm in the west building, kind of secluded a little bit. But I do their website, and I shoot training videos for them, and help out with their forums and stuff.
How long you been there?
9 years.
9
years in December.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird. It's the longest time I've ever held a job. So.
Are you married?
Yes, married.
Kids?
Is the wife?
No, got a stepdaughter.
Stepdaughter?
Yeah, my nephew's living with us.
Does the wife get into the filming too? Does she?
No. Well, yes, but not racing. She's not really into that.
Really?
So, no.
Does she ever get mad at you at the time you spend at this stuff?
Well, she has her concerns, I'm sure, like every other.
I put him on the spot. Is the camera's working?
And she's probably watching.
Yeah, I really put him on the spot, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
It's a typical racer's wife thing, though. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, you guys were talking about thanking everybody, and you're thanking your families and all that, and it brought to mind, that term, racing widow. I mean, still, even the people that are involved in I guess,
the other
secondary
other parts of racing,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a lot of time.
Cameras,
scores, people safety crews, all that stuff.
It's a dedication.
Right, and I've always been involved in sports. In high school, soccer and baseball and stuff like that, and then I really never thought of racing as a sport until I started back watching it, and then I realized, what? There's a lot to this. And
to the casual observer, racing's not a sport, but it really is.
Yeah.
That's the biggest obstacle I think we need to overcome is conveying to people that it is a sport. Just because there's an engine involved and, you know, it's man and machine, it's still a sport. It takes a lot of time and effort. It's still a sport.
Well, you have to have knowledge of conditions and the track conditions at the time, you know, just like if you're going out and playing soccer, right, and the field's wet or dry or whatever, you know, I mean, the ball's going to react differently on the ground, and so that's the same thing when you get out there on a dirt track, and then you have to understand, also have to have a lot of technical knowledge, more than I think in other sports too, so.
Really and truly.
And then when getting in that fire suit and then driving those laps and, you know, having to deal with all those elements, that's, you know, you got to be in shape, you know, to do that still. You know?
I forgot to ask Jeremy Petty what he does to stay in shape. I should have asked him.
Yeah.
Because he's so far away from his team.
He's going to come back.
Yeah, we'll get him
He's
back.
In eating the bike. He'll come back.
Well, yeah, Jeremy Petty's probably got a. I mean, you know, especially the NASCAR guys, you know, you notice they
have a training program, that's for sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think the teams, they actually have their own, you know, trainers that come in and work with the pit crews and drivers. And
sometimes I think I might need one too, because holding that camera, man. I got a tripod now, though, so it's better.
That is a big old thing. It does look heavy.
I saw you at Thunder on the Hill. That did not look much fun.
That was kind of tough, yeah.
Did you see him?
No, where was he?
He was on top of a forklift.
Forklift?
Yeah, but it was like a big, I don't know, what do you call it?
Have a cage
like
on
a regular, no, was it? It was like a big industrial forklift, right? And then they had this huge wooden platform on.
No rails or nothing?
No, they just tied us down.
OSHA. Yeah, there was rails.
There was rails. There was rails on the side, but they tied us down too. So
he had a tether on. Could you see him? Could you see him if he'd fell over that rail, hanging by the tether? He'd been holding on to his camera for dear life. Don't grab it!
I'd had the tether on the camera.
Well, it was funny. My nephew was up there too with me. He was tied down, and he got more comfortable with it, and he started bouncing around a little too much. It was making me a little nervous, but it was a really good angle. You know, really good shot. So that was.
Did you stay up there all night or just part-time?
First night we stayed up there all night. The second night he shot from turn 1 and for the heats, and then the features I just went up and finished off on Saturday night. So.
Okay. All right. Dave, thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure to work with you and do those videos. I really do wish I could be with you at the Fall Nationals. We get some good stuff out there, but I'm sure you'll get some great footage and
your own thing. Well, and we've got that other project we talked about over the winter time, you know, that hopefully we can get together and do some stuff with. So.
Sure.
So
find him on Facebook, Dirt Track Devils.
Yep, Dirt Track Devils.
Do you have a website?
DirtTrackDevils.com. It hasn't been updated in a while, but that's in the works too. So
racing season's coming to an end here, so you can get caught up now.
Right. Well, one of the things that I was trying to do this year was set up the website and make it a little bit different than any other one you've been to. You know, like usually when you go to one of these websites, these photography websites, you click on the date, and then you gotta scroll through how many pages of stuff and try to find the guy you want. So we're working on tagging the photos we have, and so we tag them by class and then by car number. So you can go in, and actually right now you can probably go in and check it out. There's a few dates up there. Let's see, you type in, I know Lagrune's on there, so you type in 24 modified. Everything we've tagged with Corey Lagrune's going to just show up there. So you can just look and see just who that is.
So you don't have to go through page and page and page.
Right. You got a driver, you're a fan of a driver, you can go through and just see what you want.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
there was something else I was going to ask you before I turned you loose. It slipped my mind. Apologize for that. But, okay. We're looking forward to working with you next year.
All right.
See what happens, okay?
Thanks.
All right.
Dave, thanks.
DirtTrackDevils.com. Find him on Facebook, and I'm sure you can order something. Are you ready for a commercial break, Justin? You want to go? Okay, we'll be right back after this timeout.
want a grill that is top of the line, the best, but not the highest in price? Then go to Anderson Body Shop in Lindsborg, your local Green Mountain Grills dealer. You will love grilling your pellets because of the taste, aroma, and the lack of mess. Anderson Body Shop in Lindsborg has Green Mountain Grills and accessories. Everything you could want for grilling. Grilling your pellets is so much better than charcoal or gas. Face it, you love to grill, and grilling season starts at Anderson Body Shop, 214 South Cole in Lindsborg. Get your Green Mountain Grill.
All over central Kansas, there have been reports of racing fever. One of the symptoms of racing fever include listening to NASCAR races on the radio. Oh, you got the fever. At Extreme Motorsports, they've got a racing fever, too. They build modified race cars from the ground up and repair all kinds of race cars with quality parts. If you've got a racing fever, there ain't no cure, man. Go to Extreme Motorsports ASAP. Extreme Motorsports at 104 Patton Lake Bend. Call 620-796-2290. Extreme Motorsports.
Commercial is for Budweiser, Cologne, and Bud Light. It's about to get spicy up in here.
Well, I was chilling on a Saturday. Yeah, just the other day, my boys got a season Nick and bootleg. We opened the fridge and again, all they started with a nice shit. So we all decided, spice it up, spice it up, spice it up. Give me a Budweiser Chelada so we can spice it up. Pour a Bud Light Chelada so we can spice it up.
Budweiser Chelada and Bud Light Chelada, a delicious running alternative with Budweiser and Bud Light.
There you go. There you go. Got a customer.
You want to win
Matt, when do you want to do Matt's
your
minute?
quest begins with Belleville Motorsports. Belleville Motorsports has been building winning modifieds since 1994. From the welding to the power play, sheet metal work, and final assembly. Bell Motorsports prides themselves on quality craftsmanship.
Jeremy, let him sit by the cookie.
That's fine with me because that's the broken headset.
IMCA's 2009
I got
National
the order. I
Chassis
requested new
Manufacturer
headsets
of the
today, and what a
Year.
problem.
Sure, you can find a pre-owned vehicle just about anywhere. Kenny's Auto Body Trucks and Cars in Sonoma will know that
This one's mine.
Yeah, that's yours. That one works.
You got a tiny head.
Does the mic stay up, though?
That one you have to hold. Yeah, this one's mine. I bought this. I might look and see if we can get a couple on it. I'll let them buy it.
See Kenny's Auto Body Cars and Trucks on Pacific and Sonoma.
I wanted this one to fit my big ears.
Clogged drain or sewer, you know who to call. Salon at one call does it all. 827-1113.
How much? 50?
827-1113. Serving the Salina area since 1953. Sewers and drains are all they do. It's Roto-Rooter of Salina. 827-1113.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name.
And away goes trouble down the drain.
When you need parts for your race car, you need them fast. That's why racers all over the Midwest have relied on Pro Motorsports for years. Pro Motorsports has been serving the fastest race cars out there for 20 years, selling the most reliable brands in the industry with excellent customer service and same-day shipping. Pro Motorsports of Wichita at 5607 North Broadway. Visit them on the web at dirttrackparts.com or phone them at 316-838-7227. Pro Motorsports of Wichita.
Welcome back to In the Zone Race Talk Live on hopupperformance.com. Bill Grant, Bobby Potts with you this evening. About to wrap up the internet. Well, we got a few minutes left in the internet portion of the thing.
Sitting there watching some topless stuff going on.
Racing.
Yeah.
Everybody said, huh?
Everybody looked. Everybody looked. What are y'all looking at?
Yeah, that's the kid. Yeah, that's the crowd and the kid, and everybody thought it was something else out there.
You, Jeremy, been in to get a bite to eat, and you came back out. Speaking of eating, we were just talking about the fitness programs that the racers go through. Do you go through any kind of? I know you've been pretty athletic, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I try to. I definitely was trying to run as much as I could and ride. I mean, I only started a couple weeks before the Kansas race, so I was not in shape like I should have been. Had we been going to a short track, I probably would have been in trouble. But yeah, I stole a bike from my brother-in-law. Would go on miles and miles rides and kind of do some interval running and type stuff. I'd like to. When I was running a lot more on a regular basis, I had a gym membership, and the big thing that I would do is when I would go in to work out, I would put, I'd have socks and shoes and shorts and sweatpants and long T-shirt and a long sleeve T-shirt and a hoodie and a stocking cap and go in there and, lift weights for an hour and a half and then, try to go several miles on an elliptical or something like that, and then I'd go sit in the steam room for 45 minutes or something like that, get as hot as I could take it, sit in there for a half hour, 45 minutes. And that's the biggest thing is you don't need to be real strong, but you got to have endurance and you got to be able to be hot for long periods of time.
That's what I'd heard that you'd go next. I'd heard that some of the guys might even drive their cars around in the summertime with the heaters on.
Yeah, with the windows rolled up and don't turn the AC on and stuff like that. My truck doesn't have an air conditioner, so I don't have to worry about that. I drive that Hudson around, so it's a non-issue for me. But, I would. The biggest thing I would do is put on as many layers as I could when I would go work out, and then sit in that sauna. I'd sit in the steam room, and everybody else would end up leaving because I'd find where the temperature deal was and just pour water on it, so it would get so hot in there, and try to stay in there for a half hour, 45 minutes, and that's the big. As it just gets so, in this time of year, if it's 70 degrees outside, it still gets warm, but it's not bad. But, when you're racing 200-300 miles in June, July, August, and it's 130, 145 degrees in the car for a couple hours, if you got to have your body acclimated to that, or it's an issue.
I'll bet.
And you got to somehow keep your mental capacities with you as well.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is just being used to being hot. If you're out there driving around going, man, it's hot in here, you're in trouble. You're just in trouble at that point. You just need to you need to have your body used to it to where you don't really notice it until maybe after the race is over type deal.
When you did run the ARCA series, you ran, pretty much the whole series. Are the races long enough in that to need a cool suit? Do you have one?
Yeah, I don't have a cool suit. Most guys run the little air conditioner boxes.
Okay. And blow it in your helmet.
And blow it into the helmet. Now, at Kansas City, actually, for the nationwide deal this week was the first time I'd ever had one of those, because they're not cheap.
No.
And, I'll take a set of tires over an air conditioner. So I just had always had just a regular fan blower. So whatever the temperature was outside was what I was getting in my helmet, which, even if it's 100 degrees outside, it feels better than 140 that's in the car.
But
those things are nice, and they really do put a lot of cool air right on top of your head, and it really can, kind of trick your body to thinking you're not that warm. But pretty much everybody that I ran against or ran with had a cool suit or a cool box or something. That's just the first time I'd ever used one, and it was one of those deals I'm thinking maybe I should not have turned it on because now I'm going to want one and everything.
You got spoiled, huh?
Yeah, it was nice.
Do you use that stuff in the truck as well?
Yeah, same old stuff. NASCAR has a rule. And ARCA does too. There has to be, if all the vents and the coolers and all that stuff, there has to be one outside air vent that goes to the driver. Even during qualifying, you can tape off everything but that one vent. They require that. It has to be going to the driver at all times. So that's nice.
Huh. I guess I'm going to kind of change the subject a little bit. When we were in the garage Sunday, I was kind of hanging out by the tech area and watching the cars go through, and they was having a little trouble with the children's cars. They were the little wheel spacers and stuff. They were running on the right rear is what they were having trouble with. Did you have any trouble getting your car through tech, or did you have to change anything? Or
we made it through the first time on everything. Of course, the practice tech, if you're a little bit off on the body or you're a little bit wide on your tread width, which those wheel spacers would have been, they would have been too wide on their tread width.
I talked to Ron Hoover, the guy that's in charge of the fabrication for those guys, and he said with the rear end skewed in there, they were off a little bit that way, so they were trying to take spacers out to get the tread width where it needed to be.
Right, yeah.
Because you guys have gone to putting the rear end in these cars where it's not square anymore to get them to get into the corner, I'm assuming.
Well, not so much. Once again, it goes back to that air. We set the rear end out, and basically it's cocked in there, and then so the rear end's sitting in there one way, and then they're putting the pointing the tires another way, we want to get that right rear hanging out in the air as much as we can.
You're trying to get the spoiler out
We're
in the air?
We're trying to get the body
out
just
in the air.
The right rear quarter panel, the right rear door, the spoiler. We're trying to hang everything out to the right as far as we can possibly get it for aero purposes, not necessarily for suspension purposes.
Right.
It's all for aero stuff. So,
right.
yeah. So, but we made it through no problem. But they're a lot more, if you're a little bit off on the template here or there for practice, they're pretty much going to let you go through unless it's a big, but when you go back through for qualifying, there's no letting you go out. You got to have it fixed. And so, unfortunately, we never got to that point. But
yeah.
Well, we talked about
but
that.
yeah, we made it through. I mean, we were a couple, something was off. We were off a little bit on our toe, so we were off a little bit on the tread width in the front. It ended up being the toe, so we had that fixed. That was the only really major issue we had.
He told me you didn't want to show up there 3 times. He says because if they make you fix this thing over 3 times, they will make you an example. And he told me a story of somebody who was late for a race last year. Not late, but pushing limits because they just shoved him to the back.
Yeah,
we'll
you got basically you can go around, what they call going around. You go back on the line, and you go around, and the third time they put you on the clock, and you got 5 minutes to fix whatever that problem is, but you still have to go back around. So, it'll run into, now the Cup guys don't get as many cars, but like Nationwide and ARCA and stuff is the same rules, and if you don't want to have to be put on the clock because the people that are sitting there in line don't have to let you go in front of them. And if it's a situation where me and you are both racing and I'm in front of you in line and you're on the clock and we're fighting for a starting position, I'm going to be like,
Too bad,
sorry, guy.
Yeah,
should have answered stuff better when you got through there.
You don't want to go through on the clock.
Wow. In fact, I was standing there when the boss came up. This was the 3rd time Sunday.
Yeah.
The car was over there.
Yeah.
And he said, he had a grin on his face, but he said, what do we got to do to fix this? And I mean, you could tell by everybody's actions that he was serious, and it was Austin Dillon's car.
Yeah, well, Morris, the crew chief, he did a truck deal last year at Talladega, about 2 races after I drove the truck in Darlington. Different truck. It was a, super speedway truck. And he got brought in late. It wasn't his truck. He didn't set it up. He just showed up at the track. The crew chief, the owner, told him that it was good to go through. Well, it wasn't good to go through. And finally, on the 3rd time, they were trying to get it, and they had more trucks there. They were going to have to send people home. And the director of the series just walked up to him and said, you see that template? And he said, yeah. He said, do you agree that doesn't fit? And he said, no, it doesn't fit. I've been, and he and everybody knows everybody. And he said, I won't say the guy's name, but I told him to fix that and blah, blah, blah. And he said, the director just said, load it up and go home.
Oh, my gosh.
Are you kidding me?
No, he just said, load it up and go home and tell him the next time he shows up to the track that it needs to be right. So they, the thing with NASCAR is, it's there. They own the sand, they own the sandbox, and they own all the shovels. So if you want to come play, you gotta be right.
But you gotta play by their rules.
And it's all it takes is if the director of the series walks up and says, "Load it up and go home," then you load up and go home. You don't get a chance to go out on the track.
Wow.
That, I bet, was several $1,000s.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was an expensive weekend. And even there's so much paperwork that you have to – I just had to turn in paperwork after paperwork and physical after physical. And then even, got all the lettering print off, which it was nothing fancy. CNR plating, you've seen their logo. There's a construction company, Pestingers helped me out a little bit. You've seen their logo. Nothing out of the ordinary. And when we got to the track, we put the lettering on at the track. I had to take the box of lettering, take it into the NASCAR hauler, get the director of the series, and he had to go through and say, okay, you can put that one on, you can put that one on, you can put that one on. Yep, they got to sign off on everything.
Ryan had to get into the NASCAR hauler.
So what did you get in trouble? What was he at?
Yeah, he's back there. Just to get his pass. Had to go to the NASCAR track.
Yeah, it's, I mean, they just, they got their thumbprint on everything. And then that's one of the things that it takes, basically, if we hadn't got the sponsorship 2 weeks in advance, we wouldn't have been able to race because of all the stuff you have to go through to get approved to be able to run.
They have a cutoff date even for us to get our press pit passes. If it's not in at a certain time,
tough.
See you next year or next race. I mean,
there's a lot goes into it, and there's a lot of follow up afterwards. Like when I wrecked, of course, the dude in the ambulance talked to me the whole way, and I told him, like, I'm fine, I'm fine. And then the nurse in the infield care center, 'cause if you can't drive away, you get mandatory ride. Told her, I'm fine. Then the doctor checked me out and pulse and thumps on you and all that. And I told him I'm fine, And then the next day, then they, there's a follow-up phone call and they ask you questions about it and you got to answer all of them. And I told them, I'm fine. And then actually when I was on my way in here, another nurse from NASCAR called me again to ask me some more questions to make sure I'm okay. And she told me that there's going to be a doctor calling me tomorrow to ask me some more questions. So I wrecked that thing on Friday, and here it's going to be next Wednesday, and I'm still getting phone calls and having to answer questions. So they're just extremely thorough about everything.
Holy cow.
Like you said, it's their sandbox, their shovels, their sand.
Yeah.
That's
the way it goes.
They own the sand.
Right.
So amazing. Matt, you got any questions for him? Really?
You guys pretty well cover them.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know. When are you going to race on dirt again?
You got a car sitting around ready for me?
I wish I did.
I was going to run the ARCA race at DeCoin, the mile dirt. I love running dirt. I think it's great, and that's one of my favorite races to go to is the dirt track at DeCoin and run the ARCA race there. But at that time I was already talking to Morris about it, and so it just takes a lot of money, and so I pretty much had to put all my eggs into the Kansas basket. If I would have went to run DeCoin, I wouldn't have had enough left over to go to Kansas, so kind of had to pick and choose.
Yeah.
Yep. So we talked about this a little earlier. Over the winter, you're going to work really hard trying to get a full-time ride in something, right?
That's the plan.
It's going to probably be a truck or maybe a nationwide car.
Yeah, trucks or nationwide or ARCA, just anything like that. I mean, it's that's the plan, is to go out and get a sponsor to run the full series. It's easier said than done.
Oh, absolutely.
It sounds good in theory, but we'll see.
We've talked about this. It's amazing the amount of money, and I'm not going to ask you, but I'm sure it's quite a bit that you have to bring with you.
Yeah, it's no matter which way you go, if you're going to do your own deal, you got to spend a lot of money. If you're going to take it somewhere, you still got to spend a lot of money because they got to spend a lot of money. And so it's just it's expensive. It's expensive at any level. You're watching this over your guys' shoulder. One of those guys goes out and tears up a modified where they got to replace it. It's not cheap. It's not cheap at any level. I don't care whether you're running modifieds or street stocks. It's expensive.
Yeah.
So,
even racing El Caminos like they're doing there, I don't know what the heck
they do like trucks.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the topless modified. I'm not. It looks different to me, I guess. I don't know.
Are you guys? Are you and your dad still building your parts?
Yeah, I still got.
What you got going there?
Billet Race Products. One of those things again. Matt will get on me about it. I basically make asphalt parts. I don't make any dirt track parts really, so to speak. I mean, I have one, but it's not something that's a big seller. Not something I push a lot, but. Just came out with a new piece, actually. Nobody around here would be interested in it, but it's an angle Panhard bar mount out of aluminum for a lot of the asphalt late model cars have gone to. Instead of running the Panhard bar straight across, they're running it forward at about a 45-degree angle, and come to find out it gives them a lot more forward bite coming out of the corners. So I built a new piece for that, and then but now some of the stuff that is applicable for around here is still the Midwest distributor for pitboxes.com, and we're getting more and more pit boxes are going out to the dirt stuff. We always go down to Volusia County every year. I do attend dirt races when I go down to Daytona, and we go down to Volusia every year, and you can't really walk by 10 haulers without seeing one of our boxes. So they're getting more and more pit boxes are getting out there in the dirt track, because it's more and more like a Salina or a Minneapolis where you got a pit outside but pit rows on inside, and everybody's got and all our stuff's towable with a four-wheeler or a golf cart or whatever, and so it's really starting to get more and more popular in the dirt because of enclosed trailers and everybody's got a pit outside type deal.
I'm sure you got a used one around or something you could loan us for next year. We'll put your name on it, see if we can sell some for you.
I'm sure we can work something out.
I've been working on him for a simulator display. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Matt's got a.
I need a bigger tent though.
You need to take that thing. You need to take that thing down to PRI. You need to go down there. If you've never been down, you need to go PRI, or you need to go to the Indy show. The simulator stuff is just taking off. I mean, it's just getting big. When we first started going, 10 years ago, there was maybe one booth that had simulators in it, and now there'll be 4 or 5, and some of them are just a computer screen at a desk, and it's the programming that's the big deal. And the next one, is down there. It's a $150,000 simulator that's on hydraulics, and I know yours is on hydraulics, and it's neat. But the way they take this deal, it's a whole nother wrap around like a IMAX type screen, and it's just the simulator stuff has gone crazy.
Wow.
I'm going to change the subject just a little bit. Sorry, Matt. I know it breaks your heart about simulator. Something we noticed having the passes that we had pretty much full access to the garage before the races could go on, and then we had to go get a seat. We actually had seats in the media room where we could watch it on TV. There's an amazing difference in those cars. First thing is, we could hear the difference between the Dodge, the Chevrolet, and the Ford, and the Toyota with them sitting there running. We could hear the difference in the garage here. Of course, they don't let any of those cars start up in the garage. They roll them out.
Right.
But there's a huge difference to the interiors of those cars, too, depending upon what team you drive for and who you are, I'm assuming, as to how much money you have to spend to put in the interior.
Well, that's no different than any other type of racing, They go to, it's different. They'll go to the wind tunnel or whatever, but you'll be one team that thinks if they bring their, the inner panel up at a 45-degree angle, they think it's better, and the next guys think, no, it needs to be flat, that's better for the air and whatever. So some of that's got to do with money, but some of it's got to do with just, monkey see, monkey do type stuff, people trying different stuff, or, that doesn't change no matter what level of racing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
there is a difference in definitely in the Dodge Cup motor your maximum cubic inches, and they're all the same cubic inches no matter what they are. Everybody's at the max, but like for instance, the Dodge has a bigger bore and a shorter stroke to get there. To get their cubic inches. Toyota does a little bit different, Ford does. So everybody goes about how they make power a little bit different.
Toyota has a little higher pitch sound. The Dodge has a more of a throaty sound. I mean, in the garage, I'm telling you.
No, that's funny.
We can hear it.
The girl motor of the bunch.
Toyota. I was amazed to see the distributor in the Dodge up at front, because usually I thought it was in the back, but that's just... that's a NASCAR engine we're looking at, too. And I mean, it was amazing how close we could actually get to the cars and talk to the guys that were working on them and stuff.
And most of those guys are nice guys. And I mean, that's what, like I said, it takes so much money to run at that they need those fan support. Just is no different than being at Salina or Minneapolis. They need people in the seats. NASCAR needs people in the seats. They need people in the garage area. If there's no fan support, there's no sponsors. There's no sponsors, there's no racing. So, I think racing's got the best access as far as any professional sports out there.
I've always liked NASCAR. I've always liked dirt track racing. I always thought that the drivers were more accessible, actually, in the NHRA division of racing, because every ticket is a pit pass.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. Yeah, you said it's a lot easier to get in the pits.
Talk to the pits, and you can talk to those guys. They put a fence up where you can't cross, but they'll come right over that fence and talk to you. For years the NASCAR guys weren't that accessible, but I think it's NASCAR's playground. I think they're making it more and more.
They're making it more and more. 5 or 6 years ago, you go to places where then like Kansas has the fan walk and stuff. That wasn't around 5 or 6 years ago, but NASCAR was booming then. Everything was sold out. The economy was good. Now it's taking a dip a little bit, and they got to be a little more fan friendly,
competitive.
Exactly. I think that's what happened to the IndyCar series there for a while. They got to where they were so secluded. I mean, just you couldn't.
And they still are. I mean, the IndyCars. Like when I'm running, like when I went to the truck race, if I'm running a truck or something, if I got a NASCAR pass, I can go into the Cup garage or I can go into the Nationwide garage. But if you got a NASCAR pass, you can't go in the IndyCar garage.
So when the
that's
trucks,
a whole nother.
when the trucks ran with the Indy cars, you were
you couldn't go in that garage.
Really?
You could go into the truck garage, you could go out on pit road, but you could not go into the IndyCar garage as a driver even.
Really?
I mean, they just the IndyCar guys are
prima donnas.
Yeah.
those aren't real race cars anyhow, are they?
I tell you
in the
what,
back. Come on.
I would jump in one in a heartbeat, but they
all you gotta do is push buttons.
They're annoying, man. They sound like bumblebees out there running around. And
push
Sport
buttons.
compact to them.
But I got to tell you something. I ain't got a snowball's chance in hell in sitting in the seat in one of those things. They ain't gonna happen. We know that's not gonna
now that
happen.
they've gone to the COT, one of the things that is working in your advantage on the nationwide cars and the Cup cars is bigger openings for the drivers to get in.
I saw that.
So it doesn't really affect me.
I thought I could fit through one of those.
I've got
seat,
it.
on the other hand.
I got a bad story on myself on that. I went out to pick up Schoenberger's stock car for Dustin to drive. I'd borrowed a trailer to haul it on. So I just rolled it off the trailer, went and got my enclosed out to put it away. I climbed in there. The steering shaft hit me in the stomach. There's no way the steering wheel's going on it. Luckily, my wife's a good sport about things like that, so she learned to drive a stock car pretty darn quick. We got it in the trailer. But, not sure. It'd probably still be sitting in the high school parking lot over there if it hadn't been for that. So I couldn't move it.
It's a tight fit. I mean, it's a tight fit for me and my cars and stuff. But that, I mean, obviously that's by design. You know, you don't want to be moving around.
No.
Yeah. No need for spare space.
No.
I was amazed, when I told about the little dirt Pro Stock car that I had, I was amazed at how much the seat belt stretched with me in the car and where it allowed me to actually get to. That's amazing.
Yeah, and they've come a long way. I mean, belts, they've improved everything. I mean, the seats are better, the belts are better, the Hans device, the helmets are lighter. You don't have as much weight sitting on top of your head to slam forward or,
I think I got one of those 25-pound Bell helmets.
Yeah, and they're...
Maybe it needs to be that big to go around.
My helmet is, I had an impact helmet, and I had it all painted up and everything, but it was, 4 or 5 years old. Of course, it's out of date for NASCAR. You got to be within 3 years on everything, it seems like. So I had to buy, my helmet was out of date, so I had to get a new helmet to go up there and run the nationwide deal. And even in just 4 years, you can pick up my helmet that was 4 years ago and pick up the hand. You can feel a noticeable weight difference. It's just so much lighter than the helmet that I bought even 4 years ago. So,
but does that worry you? Does that concern you that the protection may not be there?
No. I mean, they're getting so good on that. They're going to, instead of having the fiberglass molds and stuff, now they're going to carbon fiber, and it's stronger and it's lighter. And I mean, they've come so far we were talking before the race. I mean, I did the best I could to try to completely go through that wall, and it didn't even knock the wind out of me. I just, I was mad, but I just unhooked the belts and took the hose off my helmet and hopped out. It wasn't no big deal.
The safer barrier.
He didn't hit the safer barrier.
I caught the very end of it. I didn't get the full deal, but
if you'd have hit the safer barrier, would it have saved the car any?
Oh no.
It's not the
in some case, had it been a glancing blow, but no, I squared it up. Anything worth doing is worth doing right, I guess. I destroyed that thing. So. But it does take a lot. I mean, I've hit, like I said, that ain't the first time I've wrecked. Now I've popped the wall at places like Salem and Rockingham where they don't have that safer barrier, and you can definitely tell a difference. Even if you just go up and pop it with your side, or if you go to a place like Kentucky, where you go up and just pop it with your side, and most of the times, you can tell you hit it with the car, but it's not going to knock you out of the race. It's not going to bend wheels and throw the toe out. But at the older tracks that don't have that, where that give's not there, you go up and pop the wall, you've knocked the toe out, you've been an A-arm, you've done something. So, I mean, it makes a big difference. It really does. Like I said, I tell everybody, don't get confused. Soft walls, it's still a wall. I mean, it's not soft.
A wall is a wall.
It's not soft, but it is safer. It is softer, but it is not soft.
Okay, so you tried to knock the wall down at Kansas. Were you amazed at how bad it did not hurt you?
You know what? I am. now, at the time, I wasn't really thinking about anything.
You were mad at the time.
I was just, really, really upset and could not believe that I had just wrecked that car. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, that's by far the fastest I've ever, drove into wall just at a dead stop. And it just didn't, it was like I ran over a squirrel or something, I mean, it didn't knock the wind out of me. It didn't ring my bell. It didn't daze me. It did nothing. I just popped out.
Was the cars designed to crumple up front like that?
Yeah, and that's another thing that, I mean, NASCAR they build new cars, and they, like, even now that they've got the COT built, they still build new cars, and they go out and they crash them. And to find out, if you hit at this angle, if it folds, I mean, they go out and crash cars on a regular basis to do R&D, and they do a lot of it up at the University of Nebraska where they've designed the safer barrier and everything. But, they do a great job, and now, like, all the cars have like a little, basically it's a black box is what they call it, kind of like an airplane, but it's designed to, it doesn't pick up any of our voice or anything like an airplane, but it records all G-forces throughout the race. And that's what I was talking with Brooke earlier. My suspicion is that my G-force rating was probably over a certain number, is why I'm still getting calls from them.
Yeah.
Because they go back on Monday, and any car that was in a wreck, the black box gets downloaded, and they analyze the wreck, and they have a committee. That's all their job with NASCAR is only to review crashes. That's all they do. And one of them guys is supposed to be calling me too, so it's just, but all that stuff helps. All that stuff helps keep the drivers from getting hurt.
Yeah,
sure.
You guys may have gone over do they rebuild the chassis itself, or do you just use the parts off of it?
Yeah, they'll put a front clip on it. They'll basically cut it off from the windshield forward and reclip it just same as they would a modified or something.
So it wasn't hurt any further back.
No. The one good thing I can say that I did was I hit it hard enough head on that it bounced me straight back before I started spinning.
So you didn't hit.
So I didn't hit the rear of the car. So I give myself a little bit of credit for at least hitting it hard enough. So
were you able to? I've seen a bit of it. Were you able to get on the brakes, or was it just too late?
Well, after I hit the apron and turned straight, I mean, I was able to hit the brakes but literally, from the time I hit the apron and it took a hard right, the time I hit the wall was less than a second. I mean, what are you going to do? I got on the brakes, but
at 170 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour.
I may have slowed it down 3 miles an hour or something. I didn't make much of a dent there, but it's more of a reaction at that point in time.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy, you've been a great guest. We wish you continued success with this thing. I find it very interesting to the level you've gotten to.
Keep digging, man.
Yeah, keep going. Don't quit on this dream yet, man.
We'll try. We'll do the best we can. And like I said, always thanks for having me on there. And hopefully I can maybe round me up a dirt car sometime and come out and play with you guys. I do try to make it out to the track.
I think Matt gets you a dirt car. He's looking for a driver.
He always wants me to pay for
He
stuff.
needs wood pedals, blocks, so multi-people can drive it. Okay, we covered that earlier.
That's right.
We wish you continued success. Again, we start in April next year. We'll get in touch with you, see where you're at, see where you're going, so we can kind of get that covered and get going.
I believe that, like I said, I'm running that ARCA race in Mobile. That's either right at the end of February or the first part of March. So hopefully by the time you guys have started up, I've already got a race in and finished it this time.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, we know it didn't go like you wanted to Saturday or Friday or whatever it was, but you'll get there. We know you will.
We'll be all right. We'll just try again. That's all part of it.
All right. Jeremy Petty, folks. Oh, what was the number of the car you were driving, and who was the team owner?
68 was the number of the car, and Morris Van Fleet and Greg Party were the two owners.
What was it? Okay.
It was Fleur de Lis Motorsports.
Fleur de Lis. I tried to spit that out last week.
Yeah, Fleur de Lis. Greg was actually originally, his family came over from France, and that was their family crest, so that's what he named the team.
Okay.
Huh.
Well,
because I asked him about that. I was like, where did you go with that?
Hope you got a shot with him again next year.
I appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks, care. Jeremy Petty. Matt, it's time for Matt's Minute, and we're going to wrap this baby up for this year.
Sounds like a plan.
Wait a minute.
Am I on? Now I can't even hear you. Oh, there we go.
Too many knobs, man. You would think that after several years of running this stuff, I'd have it down, but apparently I still fly by the seat of my pants.
Keep digging, Bill.
Yeah. Don't give up yet, right,
better than I do.
Don't give up on your dreams.
I'd have pieces of tape on there going, this is me, this is you.
I'll tell you, I don't know who messes with the sound system out at Salina Speedway, but every week when I would go in there, it would always be wrong.
Something different, huh?
Oh, my.
They're just testing you. See if you can fix it.
I don't think they're going to test me anymore. All right. Matt's Minute, let's go.
Well, we went to Salina Speedway last weekend. Had a good Friday and a rainy Saturday. So
races were pretty good Friday, really.
They were very good. Kept the show moving, and it was a good show. So
yeah, had some great races, did they? Really?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I'm probably still thinking the Firebirds are destined for the junkyard yet, but
okay,
that's another story.
Let me back up. The Camaro that was in the race, it was driven, I think it was number 64.
I don't remember the number.
64, 68.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Got tangled up with your driver.
Oh, yeah.
Is that your pet peeve?
Oh, I don't know. He didn't even get the black stick the first time, did he?
Yeah, but, okay, I got a question.
Yeah.
What about the poor guy they left on the track for 100 laps with his door flopping and then DQ'd him with 2 to go, and then Dustin got in?
They DQ'd him?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Come on.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That does stink. That's terrible. Well, I didn't realize that. I just thought he was having trouble. I didn't. Yeah.
No.
Huh. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunate for Mr. Dustin.
What do you think of this stock car? Did he like it?
I think he had a lot of fun, yeah.
It didn't sound like it came up to speed the first race, that first heat race. What was going on in that?
Yeah, they do that.
No, they don't. That thing was popping and banging and carrying on.
His car does that, but he doesn't.
Schoenberger's car does that?
Yeah, he doesn't really worry about it. You don't win the race on the first couple laps anyhow, so you just get out of the way and get it cleaned out and go again. That was his advice.
You
they do that.
Are kidding me. They don't do that. I've never heard a race car do that.
Well, that's what Jason says, so they do that. Oh, man. But, no, I think he had fun. It was
good racing.
He got a little tangled up right at the beginning and knocked the toe out, and the thing just didn't steer very well from there on out. So
I thought if he could have come up to speed quicker, he could have been more competitive.
Probably. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's all part of the fun, I guess. Maybe you have to clean it out on hot laps or something.
Is he going to take it to Hayes?
Yeah, I think Jason's still going to drive it at Hayes.
Oh, is he?
I don't know. If Dustin would have won, it might be a different story. But Jason's got the new 2012 Allen to figure out too.
I heard he's got
at Hayes, so we'll see.
And somehow you guys made the show, so you're going to come back Sunday and run again?
That'd be the plan. I mean, there's 2 days of racing between now and then, so you never know what'll happen.
Okay. So you're going to be out at Hayes and then go over to Salina?
Yep, be in Hayes and then Salina, and be the big grand finale of the race season, I guess, unless we decide to load up for my birthday and go to Humboldt and see some USMTS
When's your birthday?
racing. The 19th.
Happy birthday.
But that might be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I heard you weren't feeling very good last couple of weeks.
Oh, this time of year, allergies are not real great for me. Is that what you mean?
I don't know.
Yeah,
somebody told me you weren't feeling good.
Oh, yeah. I was threatening to cancel my dentist appointment with your wife because
She just told me you weren't feeling well. I'm sure it was sickness.
Went to the doctor to see about the allergies, but said it's the same as always. Just take a whole bunch of stuff and
suck it up.
Hope you feel better.
Yeah. This should work on a normal person. But you're mad, so.
That's right. So
well, listen, we got to wrap
I think
this
that pretty well wraps up the season unless we get fortunate enough to go to Vegas.
Hop, jump in here for a second, would you?
Bobby, have you been to Vegas before?
Yeah,
I got to go last year.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Man, lucky you.
I got to go last year.
What are you going to do this winter?
This winter, I'm going to work on the website, so I'm going to do some redesign and change some stuff up and hopefully improve it and make it a little better.
Okay. Appreciate everything you do, man. Really. It's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
Thank you. Do you need any of the shows the radio station has recorded?
I need tonight's because we had some trouble earlier. So,
okay.
But other than that, I got everything.
You got everything else. So I'm gonna drop off my memory stick to them and let them go.
Yep.
Justin Hop Up Performance, every week's put us on the web. Runs the cameras. I'm not so sure I'm liking this camera thing, man. Really.
Tonight I don't think the cameras are online, so we're all right.
Good.
Oh, that's another thing to remind everybody. Thanks to Hop Up Performance and Central Plains Diesel, correct? We are giving away a contour camera, so if you haven't gotten on Hop Up Performance, filled out your driver profile, you need to do that.
When are you
we
gonna
will
draw
be
for it?
drawing for it at Hayes.
At Hayes' Fall Nationals. So.
Really? Do you have to be there to win it?
No.
Okay.
So just any of the drivers that's filled up their profile will draw for it then.
How many you got so far?
I haven't done full count, but we're going to have some stuff where they can actually fill it out at the track too. I'm going to go out and hand out too. Okay. They can do it or go online this week and fill it out too. So.
All right. Hop, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. You've taken the show to another level.
Yeah, really.
I mean, really have. I mean, look.
Sometimes it's too much, but we'll try to improve on it. So.
Are you kidding me? You know how many trips I have to make already?
Be pulling a trailer in here before you know it.
The radio station has one. Maybe we could just borrow that and back it up to the door next year.
There you go. Whatever happened to the giant
big
camera?
old satellite,
we need that thing.
Big old satellite dishes and everything.
Yeah, we need that.
Remember that?
I'll have that here next year. Guys, Hop, thanks again. Really tremendous job. Matt, you too. Covered a lot of races for us this year. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Bobby?
You know, real quick, hope everybody's still listening out that way, but got to thank our sponsors. You know, we had BMS and all the race shops, BMS, Pro Motorsports, and Extreme Motorsports, which is the home of the 2011 Sport Mod IMCA Sport Mod Champs. So congratulations to them. Got to thank all the guys out there.
You know, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I stopped in and saw Kenny Myers today and talked to him for quite a while. He is slowing down. He's thinking about closing and selling.
Really?
Yep. Going to have an auction. Going to get rid of some cars. Kenny's been a big supporter of this store from the day it started. Almost. You know, he's always been on this.
Kirk Vincent with Roto-Rooter.
Really appreciate those guys. You know, we could not do this without our sponsors. Curtis Barnes
at Anderson's Body Shop. Got to thank him.
I'm sure I'm going to miss somebody, and if I don't intend to, it's just you know. We couldn't put this on without you guys' help, and you've been big supporters. I think we've landed at a really nice spot here. Really like this place.
You bet.
You know, so
treated us well.
Bobby, thanks again. Good year.
Yep, thanks, Bill.
We've covered a lot of races. I tell you, I think the most fun you and I had, other than the Kansas race, had to be when we got to talk to the NHRA guys up in Topeka.
That was pretty cool.
Wasn't that fun?
That was something we'll remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, anytime you get to sit in front of Don Garlitz and have a conversation with him, that's interesting stuff. I don't care who you are. That's good stuff. Again, Justin, thanks, Matt, really. And that's it for tonight, guys. And we'll be back in April. Really appreciate you all listening to us every year or every week. Every Tuesday. I think we'll do it again next year.
Everybody have a good winter.
All right.
See you in Hayes.
We'll see you. Bye now.